Hello and welcome to Discourse of Peacocks, where today we are going to be discussing Leeds United 3, Luton 0. In what was another dominant performance where we were exhilarating to watch. It was probably our most complete performance of the season from front to back. Everybody gave 100% for the shirt. And sometimes, because without sounding really big-headed, we found it too easy sometimes, that it's hard to see when players are giving 100% because of the fact that we've arguably got the best team in the league. So yeah, it was good to just see everybody fight for everything, and without meaning that we had to fight back like we did in the Swansea game. It was nicer just to have a little bit more control and a little bit more patience. So we are going to get straight into the good, and there's quite a lot of things because we were just pretty damn incredible. Back to clean sheets, which is great. We have conceded just 5 goals at home this season, and considering 3 of those came on the opening day against Portsmouth, I think we are defensively just chef's kiss at home. I think that Strauch made sure that we didn't have to concede anything. That clearance, I said on Just Joe's show, the fact that, you know, as a woman in her 30s, my body ached just watching Strauch run towards his own goal at that speed and managing to curve his leg up and under the ball and flick it back. It was next level kind of athleticism and determination. It's so difficult as well, because if he gets that slightly just millimeters wrong, he just knocks it into the back of the net. So yes, Strauch, considering how defensively weak we were in the Swansea game, I think we were back to our defensive best against Luton, which they did have a few opportunities. Yes, they weren't the best opportunities, but if they'd have been able to follow through, and actually they just looked like a team bereft of confidence. And I think in that first half, I think it was before we got the second goal, they looked like they were going on to, there was a moment, I can't remember, not Ross Barkley, he went to Villa. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be really annoyed with myself as to who it is. Anyway, generic Luton player, insert name here. He was running across the face of goal, and there was a massive gap between defenders, and any person in confidence takes the shot, because if you take a shot at Meslier, the likelihood is that it will go in. But he didn't, and then the defenders managed, he gave the defenders time to close him down. Morris, I think it was. Carlton Norris, maybe. Anyway, it was him. And you could just tell that Luton were just absolutely bereft of confidence and kind of any faith in their own abilities, which worked to our advantage quite a lot. So going backwards, we'll go back to Byram's goal. We'd looked, me and my husband were watching, and we looked, and we were like, oh my God, I can't believe he's fluffed that up. Oh my God, he scored a Karate Kid. Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. And it was the goal that kind of, when you're a child playing football in the park, you kind of dream of scoring, and you kind of fall over attempting a kind of karate chop kick like that. And I think it really means a lot to him. Obviously, he's a Leeds fan. He, he's one of our own, and his goals always kind of mean something more, because obviously he goes extended periods of time without scoring. So the fact that he didn't just score a random goal, it was the opening goal, and kind of we were all able to kind of just take a little bit of a, okay, right, now we kick in. And I think after that, we all expected Luton to come out, because they couldn't just sit back in the low block. That's not what happened. Well, it was more of like a mid block, but that's not what happened. They seem to actually sit deeper, other than a couple of chances, and obviously the Strauch clearance. But they didn't kind of come onto us that much, which I don't know. It was they weren't Plymouth by any stretch of the imagination, but I was disappointed because I'd said that I agreed with Ben Locke from Lucky Leeds and said that I think that Luton's place on the table is like a bit of a false reading right now. They should be higher than where they are. The players that they have, they should be higher. But to be honest, they didn't show anything really, other than a couple of counter-attacks which came to nothing. It took up until, was it like the 77th minute for them to get their first corner, which means that we've either cleared it or saved it, or it was a goal kick, if they have managed to get up our end of the pitch. So yeah, if I was a Luton fan, especially if you've made that journey up to Leeds, I'd be disappointed. So obviously that's not our problem because we're amazing. I think as well, we've complained, well, I know I certainly have complained about possession without purpose is just a waste of time. And we had 77% possession, but we made it count. It was just wave after wave after wave of Leeds attacks. It was exciting. Yes, the second half did drift a bit, but that's not Leeds United's fault. You can't make excitement if the other team aren't willing to join in. You just can't make something, happen on your own. So Leeds United are not responsible for the entertainment coming from the Luton team. So, we did our part. We scored 2 goals in the first and one absolutely amazing Dan James goal in the second half. And again, it was wave after wave of attack. And then we did allow them to have a little bit more of the ball. And even though we did allow them to have a little bit more of the ball, they still didn't have the ball. They still gave it back to us. We still tried, we still wasted chances. And I think that the fact that even, like Meslier had a good game, and after a couple, shaky moments in the Swansea game, obviously conceding 3, he's back to having a clean sheet, and he did genuinely make saves. It wasn't just the defence and the midfield saving him. He did actually make the save. And I do think that the one that Strauch had to save, he was a little bit unfortunate. His decision making wasn't fantastic. He did the right thing, but he probably should have just done it a little bit faster or closed him down a bit better, because he's usually very good in those one-on-one situations. Obviously back to being top of the league. That's good stuff. Not sure quite. I'm recording this on Friday, so I'm not sure really what result I want for the Sunderland-Sheffield game. Draw, possibly Sunderland win, but I also then don't want them to get momentum back again. I think a draw would be the best result, if in all honesty, both teams dropping 2 points. Yeah, I think I'd rather that. And then obviously us go and win against Blackburn. I think that we really saw the best of Fark ball and how good it can be and how exciting it can be when everybody buys into it and everybody is fighting for the same cause and isn't being selfish and fighting for their own career. They're fighting for Leeds United. And I think we saw that from everybody in the team. Joel Pirot was quite quiet. I think he was pressing a little bit better than he has been doing, but he still got a goal. So sometimes you just need somebody to just put it in the back of the net, because as well, we go into that second half just 1-0 up, and it's a completely different game. We kind of just popped their bubble a little bit in terms of they were 2 goals down. 1 goal is absolutely nothing. We saw that with, Watford were very, very close to kind of coming at us. And we were 2 goals up in that game. So one goal, I think, Rob Edwards' team talk at halftime makes a world of difference. But when you're 2 goals down, especially when you concede in the 30 seconds out of the 1 minute of added time, that's really deflating. We've been there ourselves. So it worked again. It worked best for us, and that's all I really care about. So we'll move on to the bad stuff, the terrible stuff. You know that you've had a good game when you're bad. One of your bad kind of topics is we could have scored more, but we genuinely could have. We should have probably scored 4, 5, maybe even 6, and I would love us to do that. I really, really would. I know it's not Fark's style, so the likelihood is 4 is probably the best that we're going to get, because I believe it's the best that we've gotten in any game out of the last season and a half. So I think that that's where we go. 4 is like our maximum, but we don't concede many. So swings and roundabouts, you still end up, with good goal difference. Oh gosh, right. I don't have anything against Aronson. I must just stress this. I was struggling to find anything bad, per se, about this game, which is a fantastic thing. It's a brilliant place to be in. Aronson's decision-making needs to improve. But I kind of don't blame him. From what I see, I think he's trying so hard to be good and trying so hard to not just be the speed, not just be the kind of I'll run until I die kind of person, but he ends up being that by the fact that he doesn't just take that beat to think about what his next decision. We've seen it with Dan James, so I have full faith that by the end of the season, Brendan Aronson's decision making is going to be, far improved on what it is currently. And I think that Daniel Farke will work with him and will help him and guide him and all of these things. I really, really do. But I had to find something negative about this game, otherwise the bad section just wouldn't exist. And the last one out of the many, many bad things that there were, if only Sheffield United and Burnley had lost, then that would be better, because the gap would start to open up. As it stands right now, before a ball is kicked this evening, us and Sheffield United are both on the same points, but we have a better goal difference. Obviously, Sunderland dropped points again by getting their 5th draw, I think, in a row. And Burnley scored 2 goals for the first time in quite a while, because they have only conceded 6 goals, I believe, all season. So we've conceded double the amount, and we've been defensively incredible, but Burnley just don't give up goals at all, and that's how they manage to win game, because they're only on a couple of points less than us, and their goal difference is less than ours, but it's not far off, and they haven't scored that many goals. It's just that they've conceded, I think they've only scored 20 goals, but they've only conceded 6 goals, so they've got a goal difference of plus 14 for the simple fact that they just don't concede. So if they could just start conceding, that would be really, really happy for us Leeds fans. I would be very happy with that. And we're going to move on to the best, as Leeds United simply are. We have the best goal difference. We have the best home form of the season. We have scored, we've gained 22 points out of a possible 27, those points being dropped 3 against Burnley, and we dropped 2 of them against Portsmouth on the opening day of the season. We are 5th in the away form. So if we get that to improve, obviously it's a big test against Blackburn this weekend. If we can stop our losing, hopefully the whole fact that we got a very last minute win away at Swansea, if we can carry that momentum on to getting another away win at Blackburn, not an easy place. But I think we've got a point to prove. Well, hopefully 3 points to prove, because obviously it's John Eustace who beat us both times with two different teams last year, both of whom either got relegated or were in a relegation battle, and he still managed to beat us. But I do think that there were a few kind of mitigating circumstances last season. Rutter was basically shouldn't have been playing because he was both injured and out of form. Somerville was out of form. I think the pressure and the reality of how close we were, and then also some of the players thinking about their own personal futures, I don't think that helped. So yeah, I do think there, and obviously the Birmingham game, we had a squad that like half of the team that were playing that day aren't even at the club anymore, as well as we had players going on strike. So hopefully it would be nice if those players that weren't here or weren't performing last season turned up. And hopefully it isn't just a Fark tactics thing, because we did see last season when Fark struggled against a certain manager, that's when Leeds United struggled. When Farke was good against a certain manager, we usually succeeded. So this is where we're going to also see Fark's, kind of test him, see how his in-game management is. And, I think the fact that we've got an improving bench as well, I don't think Solomon will start, simply because what's the point of risking him? I'd rather him be available. I also don't. I love Dan James, absolutely love Dan James. Everybody knows that now. But I wasn't surprised, nor was I annoyed or upset the fact that he was dropped for the Luton game, because Daniel Farke has come out and said it was a tactical decision. Also is the fact that Dan James and Solomon are very similar in the fact that they're both coming back from injuries, working their way back into form, scoring goals, assisting. I want them all firing. I want them all fighting for their place. So the other day I got into a debate, a heated debate, but a fantastic debate over Aronson, and that's why I'm not bothered that Dan James was dropped for that game. And he wasn't dropped, he was just rotated, and he came on and scored a fantastic third goal, which again, what a wonderful thing for Farke to have, this headache of having to balance these players and then them all not just sulking, but coming on and proving a point and scoring a goal. This is the kind of competition that would have got Leeds United promoted last season. So this is what I want to see. I want to see Farke kind of like not toying with them, but just kind of been like, yeah, you can play this game, but no, you're not playing the next game. And just kind of also different players for different games. What a luxury to have in the Championship. It's the kind of headache and the kind of options that you don't really have unless you're like a Big Six team. So the fact that we've got it in the Championship is just incredible, and we have to utilise that. I also think that if we manage to stay top, if we manage to, if obviously either Sheffield or Sunderland are going to drop points, but if they both drop points and we take our chance, I think again that proves that Farke has learned it, because every time that happened last season, we didn't jump on it. It's the same as we almost didn't jump on it against Swansea when we had the chance to go top of the table, and we did it. And then again, we went down to, was it like third or fourth before we played on Wednesday? And then we went back to the top. So I think that this team, it may not have players that have ceilings as high as the ones that left, but this team have players that want to be here, that want to fight, that want to show what they can offer to us. And I'm not naive. I also think that Nonto has probably seen Somerville and Rutter and thought, if I'd have just got my head down, I'd have got my Premier League move. So they've got vested interest in the fact of they want to get to the Premier League with or without Leeds United, and right now they have an amazing chance, and it looks great on your CV, the fact that you've earned a trophy and medal for getting promoted with a big club like Leeds United as well. So all of these things, it just makes for an exciting watch. It makes for an exhilarating time to be a Leeds United fan, and it's not often that we can actually say that and just be like, oh, I'm really glad I support Leeds United, or oh, it's really good for my health that I support Leeds United, because that is just not a sentence that anybody who is a Leeds United fan ever gets the chance to say. So right now, that is the best feeling. If you would like to comment or discuss or anything, any opinions that you have on the game, then please comment in the section down below. Please like, subscribe, put the little notification bell on, all those YouTube algorithm loving things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.